Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadate Swapadantikam. Coming now.
Oh.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamelam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parjana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
So we have
Prabhu, I have a question from NOD chapter 12. One of the paragraphs has this, what I have mentioned in the chat. What does that mean, Prabhu?
so here you can see how, my dear son, association is very important. It acts like just like a crystal stone, which will reflect anything which is put before it. Similarly, if we associate with the flower-like devotee of the Lord, and if our hearts are crystal clear, then certainly the same action will be there. You understand? You don't understand. So that means that if you associate is anything, the heart, it will absorb that, You understand?
But in what context Hiraṇyakaśipu is telling Prahlāda Mahārāj this?
Because Prahlāda, Hiraṇyakaśipu is telling him in this context that because he has been associating with the devotees, That's why he is developing all the qualities favoring for Hiraṇyakaśipu the qualities of the enemy,
So he is basically telling, don't do that.
Yeah. So Prahlāda is becoming like a devotee that Hiraṇyakaśipu doesn't like. So he's giving this analogy about the crystal, So if you associate, you put anything in front of the crystal, it will reflect that image, no? You understand? So
Yes,
similarly, if you are going with the devotees, then definitely you will develop all the qualities of the devotees. So if you associate with the demons, you will develop the qualities of the demons. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
That's why it's very important to know the company you keep, no? If the company you keep are not Krishna conscious, then you're going to get into trouble,
Yes,
That's
Prabhu.
why I pointed it out many times, about the meat eaters, I said many times this meat eaters thing, There are two kinds of meat eaters, no? One who is eating meat, huh? And the other one who is associating with meat eaters. They are also considered as meat eaters, no?
Hmm.
Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So it's very important. The association we are, I can see we can read that again. So here you can see this. Can you read this?
Yes, Prabhu. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Actually, we belong to the caste of meat eaters because we are servants of meat eaters. Indeed, our activities are exactly like those of the meat eaters. Because we always associate with such people, we are inimical towards the cows and brahmanas. There are two kinds of meat eaters, one who is born in a family of meat eaters and one who has learned to associate with meat eaters. From Srila Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis, formerly the Birakasa and Sakara Mallika, we can learn how one attains the character of a meat eater simply by associating with meat eaters. At the present moment in India, the presidential offices are occupied by many so-called Brahmanas, but the state maintains slaughterhouses for killing cows and makes propaganda against Vedic civilization. The first principle of Vedic civilization is the avoidance of meat eating and intoxication. Presently in India, intoxication and meat eating are encouraged, and the so-called learned Brahmanas presiding over this state of affairs have certainly become degraded according to the standard given herein by Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. These so-called Brahmanas give sanction to slaughterhouses for the sake of a fat salary, and they do not protest these abominable activities. By deprecating the principles of Vedic civilization and supporting cow killing, they are immediately degraded to the platform of Mlechas and Yavanas. A Mlecha is a meat eater, and a Yavana is one who has deviated from Vedic culture. Unfortunately, such Mlechas and Yavanas are in executive power. How then can there be peace and prosperity in the state? The king or the president must be the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Maharaja Yudhishthira accepted the rule of Bharatavarsha, formerly this entire planet, including all the seas and land, he took sanction from authorities like Bhishma Deva and Lord Krishna. He thus ruled the entire world according to religious principles. At the present moment, however, heads of state do not care for religious principles. If irreligious people vote on an issue, even though it be against the principles of the Shastras, the bills will be passed. The president and heads of state become sinful by agreeing to such abominable activities. Sanatana and Rupa Goswami pleaded guilty to such activities. They therefore classified themselves among the Mlechas, although they had been born in a Brahmana family.
So good. Now you understand this verse now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so here what is the authority of a system? What is the authority system established by Prabhupada? So usually when we have a center or a temple, then there must be a person involved or in charge, no? Yes,
Yes.
correct. The center cannot exist without some devotees, for sure. Yes. So the person who is leading the congregation preaching, when that person who's the main man, he becomes the one who is responsible, right? So he becomes the president. If they are group of devotees, if they are nothing down there, then what is the use of the titles, no? Huh?
Mhm.
So if there's like when Prabhupada went to America, there was nothing, no, except Prabhupada, no. So when he started establishing the temple, then yes, he appointed, okay, you become the president, someone will become the secretary, and someone will become the treasurer. Then all the devotees in the temple work under these three people's direction, and mainly the temple president. And in most temples, they have a temple president, and they also have a temple commander who will be in charge of all the devotees, administrating pushing the devotees, for example, to maintain the discipline and to wake them up for Mangalarti and, all the ensign duties, tasks. So these are usually been delegated by the temple president to the temple commander. So this is how the system works. And I mean, the direction of the temple president is he received direction from Prabhupada, and that way the society moves on, Because now Prabhupada is not physically present, so we take direction from the some GBC authority. But since our society, ISKM, does not have a GBC for the moment, so we are working in a different manner. We are in our ISKM, basically, mostly they take direction from me, being the most senior most person. So I give direction to the temple presidents and mostly temple presidents to help them understand assist them in the preaching and give directions in clearing doubts. And with my experience, give them guidance. See, that's how we are working in our ISKM. Of course, when we grow bigger and bigger, then we will have to put in the GBC system that Prabhupada wanted. But now we have not come to that stage yet, you see. So that's how the authority system works in our society. Because they are all working on their own independently. Every temple president works independently with his congregation, preaching, deity worship, you know, sometimes food distribution, college preaching. So many things are there. So, but nowadays it's become a little different. Is that most of at that time, well, everybody was full-time devotees. But now, uh, mostly they all are working members, and there's hardly any full-time dedicated devotees. If there's a full-time dedicated devotees, then we expect him to lead the movement, you know. But in the absence of a full-time devotee, then whoever is taking the lead, encouraging everybody, the senior most person usually, will happen like that. So then he will work with the others. So among them, if you can have initiated devotees, then they can also be part of the committee. So in that way, the members are also bound to follow all the same thing as a full-time devotee, but only thing that they will not be able to give so much time. You understand this?
Yes, Prabhu.
So who is a temple president? Will he be elected by the congregation? Will there be a temple president when there is no temple but there is just a preaching center? So like in our society, of course, Prabhupada was overseeing, who takes care of this, which place. Usually Prabhupada directs the person. But then, like what happened in England, the devotee in charge, president was, sometimes happens that they fall down or they leave or whatever, some reason. Then another person will be appointed by the devotees in the temple, they appoint, and that way the person takes, the position. Like when I went to Houston, I went there to help preach to the Indian congregation members. Then, then another person was the president. Then when that person left for some reason, then they appointed me as the president. But it was not the congregation who appointed. It was basically, all the full-time devotees did that thing. I'm giving you different examples. So it's the main thing is to not make it so political, but actually give preference to the Vaishnav to do his service cooperatively, to push on the movement with Prabhupada in the center. That's the idea. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu.
It is not like, the committee from the karmis and all that. They simply elect people based on, some kind of political, issue. It doesn't work like that. If a person who is most serious, is most, together spiritually, who is, quite versed in the scriptures, so all these are conditions that, one has to see before a person takes up the role. Because if we cannot preach and if we cannot do all those functions, then it will be a handicap, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
So in our case, since Prabhupada is physically not present, so it will be you who will be appointing for any new preaching center, Prabhu.
We are so small. Usually what happens is that the devotee goes to that place and he starts the temple.
Hmm.
That has how been our ISKMs. So they go, then there's no one there. So okay, they start the Sunday program, and this way they build up the preaching, then expand the movement, no?
Hmm.
Especially outside India, it is very challenging because it's not so easy to preach outside India. Whereas in India, yeah, we have bigger congregation, but still it's the person who is full on dedicated, then he takes up the role. You understand? I don't think we allow, so far I have not been experienced that the congregation get together and elect. Because they all hardly initiated, they hardly follow any rules and regulations. Some of them may be even still eating meat and all that. So for them to come together and make some kind of a political drama, that will be very difficult for us, you know.
Yeah, that's what happens in these Hindu temples here. Every year they have election, or every
Mm,
3 years they have election, and there'll be change of president, secretary.
yes. Actually, Prabhupada wanted the president to become more or less permanent, you know,
Hmm.
so that the person can dedicate and build up the, you know, the congregation. And usually happens like that also because the person is involved, no?
Hmm.
And that is, you know, because if he's Prabhupada said, uh, sole proprietorship can turn sand into gold, you know,
Hmm.
Prabhu, can you repeat that? Sole proprietorship?
can turn sand into gold. Because the person will put his heart and soul, you know, into the project. See, our whole mood should be of service, dedication, preaching, you know. Whereas, if of course, if the temple is big and it's got a lot of funds, then there will be a lot of people who want to be, you know, trying to get to move into the temple to enjoy the benefits. So that's a little different, you know. Established like the Hindu temples, all are established, and there's free flow of money and this and that. So definitely, a lot of people will be having vested interests, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in our case, it's nothing to gain. There's no salary, no nothing. You simply work for Prabhupada only. On top of that, you have to be exemplary in your spiritual discipline, right? If the president is sleeping through, is not interested in chanting, and is occasionally going out and breaking principles, you know, would you elect such a person?
No, Prabhu.
No.
No. So the president has to be a devotee who is going to, you know, set good examples for others also to follow. Yes. So he should be, you know, somebody who is spiritually, I would say, strong. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu.
Otherwise, how to lead? Because if you are spiritually weak, then Krishna and Prabhupada will not give you blessing, no? Because if you are a preacher, you know that to move something, you need a lot of mercy. That doesn't happen by chance, you know. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Spiritual life preaching requires complete mercy of just like Prabhupada, you see, because he was given the mercy by Krishna, he could go to America and start, no? But on the other hand, you know, Bhaktisiddhanta sent three of his men and they were not so dedicated. They could not do nothing. Yes. They went back to India. Nothing achieved. You understand? So to do something spiritually, we require the Guru Krishna Prasadapaya Bhaktilata Beach. Without the mercy of Guru and Krishna, it is impossible to do anything. So that principle we have to understand. That's why Prabhupada always insisted that any position should be given to only the initiated devotees. You know. Non-initiated devotees cannot be given any role. You must have read the will, you know, Prabhupada wanted the directors of the each property must be an initiated disciple of Prabhupada. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Why he insisted that? Because he has faith that a person who is his disciple will always uphold, you know, the good principles and will also safeguard the property or the management because he's a disciple of Prabhupada. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So there was a case where in the conversation of May 27, 1977, they were talking to Prabhupada and they wanted to put somebody on the directorship, and they mentioned his name. Then Prabhupada says, we see a disciple. And they say, no, he's not a disciple. So then Prabhupada said, no, he cannot. You try to look for somebody else. So that letter is there. You can go and see. It is on 27th of May, 1977. So therefore, we want people who are dedicated to Prabhupada, Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
What are the court roles and responsibilities of temple brethren, especially in a small center? He's a role model. You have to encourage, enthuse, make devotees, preach, teach others how to do, everything that we are doing in the temple. Preaching, deity worship, cooking, cleaning, so outside Sankirtan. So all these activities, basically everything you have to learn and you have to do. And teach others also to do. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
When does someone has to reject a temple president authority system? Of course, if the authorities of Go, they misrepresent and they don't practice what has been spoken by Prabhupada and put down by Prabhupada, either anyone who breaches all these things, then he is to be rejected. Has fallen down. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. So can you elaborate on the fallen down, Prabhu? What?
Fallen down means he don't follow the principles or he reject the authorities, does something on his own, doesn't want to take any guidance, then how to work with someone who don't want to listen, correct? Then
Yes.
we have to ask him to do his own thing, cannot work in the ISKM banner. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
So we have very careful because we have an ISKM society which is now growing all over the world, correct? If someone comes and take the ISKM banner and misrepresent us, I don't think any organization will allow that, no? Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
So we have to work cooperatively with the idea of establishing our ISKM more, solidly. But if someone misuses it, then what to do? Naturally, the leadership will ask the person to stop, correct? You understand? Or he becomes aligned to ISKCON more and he wants to run more of his temple with the ISKCON thing and all, then what we should do? We cannot allow that, right? So who will decide you can do this and cannot do that? Particularly has to be some high authority, yes? Yes or not?
Yes, Prabhu.
Because the congregation members usually they don't know what to do, what not to do. Huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
So that should be the way to do things for now. If I have an election with all the guys who in the committee who are not even practicing anything seriously, then how you can get any good direction? Hmm? Yes. So we have to understand this. We are dealing with a spiritual movement. This is not a material movement, no? Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. So this is how we is functioning. That's why Prabhupada set up the GBC to help, all the temples, or give directions, set examples. So therefore, this is how it is done. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hardly we have anybody dedicated, mostly, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Already the fighting has started. Not even moved yet. Already, so many headaches. Huh? Yes.
Mm.
That's why it's very important, that we learn how to work together. If you want to fight, then nothing will work, no? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is how it is run. I don't see any problem so far. We have been establishing many preaching places. I don't see, because mostly all the devotees who are doing it are single-handedly, pushing on, making devotees, showing example, getting them to be initiated, teaching them how to do everything. That's how it goes on. I don't have yet a temple with 200, 300 men. So to do that kind of management, that require different kind of, protocol.
Mm.
But still, Prabhupada system was to put only people who are very loyal. People who are not loyal to him, he will not,
Mm.
you understand?
But Prabhu, in few other camps, some of them might have ulterior motives, but they're still uh, surviving and.
Surviving maybe, but potency of preaching is finished, no?
Hmm.
That is the guideline. If you cannot preach, yeah, you can run, as Prabhupada said, ringing bells.
Hmm.
Open a temple and just ring bells, what's the use?
Hmm.
Right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Our movement is not just ringing bells, should be preaching, no?
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
If you join to eat and sleep, then you're going to have problem. You understand?
Hmm.
The moment you don't preach, then you'll fall down. start criticizing and finding fault and politicking and this and that, it will just go on and fail to do the main thing to push Krishna consciousness. And all the material desires will again manifest in the heart. Yes?
Yes.
Understand? So is that clear about this management?
Yes, Prabhu.
What the next one? Did Rama and Krishna eat meat? There's one person who's asked me, why did you stop when Ram ate meat and his favorite dish is fish? Can you ask him to show scriptural evidences?
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Prabhu, they quoted from Ramayana, from Ayodhya Kanda, when Rama was banished. They showed this verse, which the translation for that word is Rama had when they were in the forest, they had the meat of a deer. They killed the deer and had the meat. So they show that verse.
But did he start a slaughterhouse?
No.
Hmm?
No, Prabhu.
He had fish and whatever, maybe deer, whatever. But he's telling in the Gita, don't eat meat, no? So which one you want to do? Huh? Lord Ram also took his wife to the forest and did so many killings, and he killed Ravana, all the demons. So can you also do that?
No, Prabhu.
Bring your wife along and go and kill all the demons? Can you do that?
No, Prabhu.
Build a bridge across to Lanka. I'm sure now you can build a bridge from America to India. Huh?
Yeah.
You simply want to say one example and then use this as an example to meet 365 days a year? Huh? Tell me.
Yeah.
And that also he went and killed by himself. Can you do that also? Instead of going to the supermarket and buying, you take your bow and arrow. At least take a little stick also, I don't mind. You go and do. Try to go and see if you can catch a deer and eat. Very practical. Can you do?
No.
Then why you quote all these verses? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Ram was in the forest. You are in the city. You don't have any vegetables available. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
So all these kind of things are very irrelevant, You have to understand, you have been ordered by your guru to do this, and you are bringing all these kind of other things. Why? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
If nothing is available, then that's another story. But you got so much. You go to your supermarket, you see your whole, how many things you can buy and eat? No, I must buy the meat. Is that intelligence? Huh?
No.
Why? Because Rama had meat, so I also will go. But you go and kill and eat, no? Then we have no objection. Don't go to the supermarket and buy. Yes?
Yes.
How many will dare to even kill, How many have the guts to even to kill personally and eat? How many?
No one, Prabhu.
Huh? What is the point of bringing all these verses, no? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
This is what they want to do, these meat eaters,
Yeah, they want to justify their act. Yes.
But what Ram tells you to do, that no, that one is another thing. Huh? Correct? Our whole thing is not trying to imitate. Our whole idea is to try to follow the instruction. You know? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
All totally out of context, the whole thing.
Mm.
Hmm? Maybe you had one time, but you're going to eat every day. Is that justified? Huh?
No,
Yes?
no, Prabhu.
Hmm. Is it clear? You know how to answer them?
Yes, Prabhu, I'll mention, yes.
They also said Lord Shiva is smoke ganja, no? So you also want to add that in your thing? Huh?
Yeah, he took poison also.
And then Krishna, he danced with so many other men's wives, no? So you also want to include that? Hello? Tell me. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
This is not very valid argument, What he tell you to do, you don't want to do. You want to imitate. There's verses,
Mm.
the personalities you cannot try to imitate, no?
Mm.
Yes. Yes or no? There are verses.
Anukarana and Anusarana.
Where is that? 33. Tejasam na dosiyat. Yeah, 33:29. So yeah, you can see here. This word Tejasam na dosiyat. The status, Sukadeva Goswami said, the status of powerful controllers is not harmed by any apparently audacious transgression of morality. You may see in them, for they are just like fire which devours everything fed into it and remains unpolluted. See? You want to read the short purport?
Yeah, great potent personalities are not ruined by an apparent transgression of moral principles. Sridhara Swami mentions the examples of Brahma, Indra, Soma, Vishwamitra, and others. A fire devours all that is fed into it, but the fire does not change its nature. Similarly, a great personality does not fall from his position by an irregularity in behavior. In the following verse, however, Shukadeva Goswami makes it clear that if we try to imitate the great personalities ruling the universe, the result will be catastrophic.
See that? We try to imitate. Huh?
Hmm. One who is not a great controller should never imitate the behavior of a ruling personalities, even mentally. If out of foolishness an ordinary person does imitate such behavior, he will simply destroy himself, just as a person who is not Rudra would destroy himself if he tried to drink an ocean of poison. Lord Shiva or Rudra once drank an ocean of poison, and the result was that an attractive blue mark appeared on his neck. But if we were to drink even a drop of such poison, we would die immediately. Just as we should not imitate the pastime of Shiva's, we should not imitate Lord Krishna's activities with the gopis. We should clearly understand that while Lord Krishna certainly descends to demonstrate religious principles, he also descends to demonstrate that he is God and we are not. That also must be demonstrated. The Lord enjoys with his internal potency and thus attracts us to the spiritual platform. We should not try to imitate Krishna, for we will suffer severely. The statement of Lord's empowered servants are always true, and the acts they perform are exemplary when consistent with those statements. Therefore, one who is intelligent should carry out their instructions.
See that?
Yes, Prabhu.
Try to imitate. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu. The word Ishvara is usually defined in Sanskrit dictionaries as Lord, Master, Ruler, and also as capable, potent to perform. Srila Prabhupada often translated the word Ishvara as controller, which brilliantly synthesizes the two fundamental concepts of Ishvara, namely a master or ruler and a capable or potent person. A master may be incompetent, but a controller is a master or lord who in fact make things happen. The Parameshwara, the Supreme Ishvara, the Supreme Controller is of course God, Sri Krishna, the cause of all causes. Although people in general, especially in the Western countries, are not aware of the fact, powerful personalities control our universe. The modern impersonal concept of the universe depicts an almost totally lifeless cosmos in which the earth floats meaninglessly. Thus, we are left with the dubious ultimate purpose of preserving and reproducing our genetic code, which has its own ultimate purpose of adding another link to the meaningless chain of events by again reproducing itself. In contrast to the sterile, meaningless word concocted by ignorant materialists, the actual universe is full of life, personal life, and in fact full of God, who pervades and supports all that exists. The essence of reality is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his personal relationship with the innumerable living beings of whom we are samples. Some of the living beings are trapped in the illusion of materialism or identification with the material body, while others are liberated, aware of their eternal spiritual nature. A third class comprises those progressing in self-realization from the materialistic state of ignorance to the enlightened state of Krishna consciousness. Reality is ultimately personal and divine, and therefore it is not surprising that, as the Vedic literature reveals to us, our universe and other universes are managed by great personalities, just our city, state, and country are managed by empowered personalities. When we democratically award a particular politician the right to govern, we vote for him because he has exhibited something we call leadership or ability. We think he'll get the job done. In other words, it is only after an individual inquiries the power to govern that we vote for him. Our vote does not make him a leader, but rather recognizes a power in him coming from some other source. Thus, as Lord Krishna explains at the end of 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, any living being exhibiting an extraordinary power, ability, or authority must have been empowered by the Lord himself or by the Lord's energy. Those directly empowered by the Lord are devoted to him, and thus their power and influence spread goodness throughout the world, whereas those who are empowered by the Lord's illusionary potency are in an indirect relationship with Krishna because they do not directly reflect his will. Of course, they do not reflect his indirectly, since it is by Krishna's arrangement that the laws of nature act upon ignorant living beings, gradually persuading them through their journey of many lifetimes to surrender to the Supreme Lord. Thus, as politicians create wars, false hopes, and innumerable passionate schemes for the materialistic persons who follow them, the politicians are indirectly carrying out the Lord's program of allowing the conditioned souls to experience the bitter fruit of godlessness. Any other devotee would like to continue?
Amit Prabhu, would you like to read?
Prabhuji, give me 2 minutes. Right now I'm on a cell phone and I'm going to join from my laptop.
Itila Mataji, would you like to continue?
Hare Krishna. Srila Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has translated the word Iswaranam as those who becomes powerful through knowledge and austerities. As one understands the nature and will of the God and makes the personal sacrifice required to achieve the excellence in the spiritual life, one becomes empowered by the Supreme Lord to represent his will, which one has intelligently recognized and accepted. The Supreme Personality of a Godhead kindly descended to earth to show the vivid example of the religious behavior. As Lord Krishna stated in a Bhagavad Gita 3.24, if I did not execute the standard duties, the whole world would be misled and in fact destroyed. Thus the Lord showed in his different incarnation how to act properly in this world. A good example is a Lord Ramchandra, who behaved wonderfully as the son of the king Dasratha. But when Lord Krishna himself descends, he all demonstrated the ultimate religious principle, namely the Supreme Lord is beyond all other living being and that no one can imitate his supreme position. This foremost of all religious principles, that the Lord is a unique, without equal or superior, the superior was clearly demonstrated in a Lord Krishna's apparently immoral pastime with the gopis. No one can imitate these activities without inquiring the dire consequences, as explained here by Sukadeva Goswami. One who thinks that Lord Krishna is an ordinary living being subjected to lust, or who accept his rasa dance as admirable and try to imitate it, will certainly be vanquished as described in Shadow Realm. As described the Shadow Realm. Certainly as described in, I think I lost it. No, it's the Shadow Realm. Rasa has tried to imitate it, with certainly vanquished and described in a text 30 of this chapter. Finally, a distinction must be made between the Lord and his empowered servants. An empowered servant of the Lord, as in case of Brahma, may experience the remnant of the reaction to the previous activities according to the law of karma, but the Lord is eternally free from any entanglement in the law of karma. He is on a unique platform. My dear Prabhu, when these great persons who are free from false ego act piously in this world, they have no selfish motive to fulfill. And even when they act in apparent contradiction to the law of pity, they are not subject to sinful reaction. How then could the Lord of all created beings, animal, man, demigods, have any connection with the pity and impity that affect his subject creatures? As explained in text 32, even a great personalities empowered by the Lord are free from the law of karma. Then what to speak of the Lord himself? After all, the law of karma is created by him and is an expression of his omnipotent will. Therefore, his activities which he performs out of his own pure goodness are never subject to criticism by ordinary living beings.
Amit Prabhu, can you?
Material activities never entangle the devotees of the Supreme Lord, who are fully satisfied by serving the dust of his lotus feet. Nor do material activities entangle those intelligent sages who have freed themselves from the bondage of all fruitive reactions by the power of yoga. So how could there be any question of bondage for the Lord himself, who assumes his transcendental forms according to his own sweet will? He who lives as the overseeing witness within the gopis and their husbands, and indeed within all embodied living beings, assumes forms in this world to enjoy transcendental pastimes. we certainly.
So here you can see that how even the Lord seemingly forms some kind of a contradictory activities, but he is not contaminated, you know.
Yes, true.
But if you and I go and do it, then we get implicated, no?
Yes, true.
Understand? They say Lord Ram has had some deer. I have already explained that, no?
Yes, bro.
So even if he eats them, he does not get implicated. That is the understanding.
Yes, bro.
Any other questions? No more.
Hare Krishna, Sundar Gopal Prabhu. This is Amit. Please
Yes.
accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I have a question on Bhagavad Gita 8.5. Antakale cha ma evam smaranam muktva kalevaram. So the question is like in one of our home program, because those are, new devotees, not even devotees, they are just, from our neighborhood. And we were discussing this, case of Ajamil with them in this class. And so they were asking, right, if one has not done this devotional service, Krishna consciousness practice for the entire life, right? And if they remember Krishna only at the time of death, is it possible to achieve Krishna's transcendental abode?
If you can remember Krishna at the time of death, yes, you go back to Godhead.
But in this age, this is Iron Age, Prabhuji. So because the Ajamil, that story, not story, but with the pastimes, was in the Sati Yoga as per the Srimad Bhagavatam. But in this age, right, for example, if someone has not started their, Krishna conscious practice in the early ages, in the childhood, and they started in the later ages, right, 45, 50, then is it possible to remember Krishna at the time of death? Does it matter?
You want to read this?
What is that?
You want to read this verse, please?
Yeah, sure. One sec. Terrified, about to die, a man collapses on his bed. Although his voice is faltering and he is hardly conscious of what he is saying, if he utters the holy name of the Supreme Lord, he can be freed from the reaction of his fruitative work and achieve the supreme destination. But still, people in this age of Kali will not worship the Supreme Lord. Oh, okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
You practice, can you pass an exam?
Yeah, with practice, yes.
Without practice?
Without practice, no.
Similarly, if you are not habituated to chant, how you will chant suddenly? It's not possible, no?
That's right. But is there any scriptural reference which says that, only when you are doing Krishna conscious practice for the entire life, and when I say entire life means from the childhood, then only you will attain Krishna? Or if you start from the midlife, right, then what will happen? I mean, again, you will get the human form of human birth in a Vaishnava family.
Yeah, this is stated by Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita. If you take up the process and some or other, Arjuna asked the question, what if he falls down?
Yeah.
He will take birth in very exalted families or some mercantile family and then revive again his Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
That's how it works, no?
That's right. That's right, Prabhuji. Yeah.
So if you don't
Nam Prabhu, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I think Prabhu also has one more question, that is it possible, if one surrenders from the mid-age, is it possible to surrender in this very life completely and finish this Krishna consciousness? Is that right, Prabhu?
Possible. It's not impossible. Any moment you take up the process of Krishna consciousness, then you are successful. It doesn't matter at what time you take. So long as you remember Krishna at the time of death, then you're successful, you know. Just want to read this thing, okay?
I think in one lecture, Prabhupada, somebody asked, and Prabhupada said, all it takes is 1 second if you are really surrendered.
Okay.
You want to
So
read this?
Yeah, let's read this purpose. At the time of death, one is certainly bewildered because his bodily functions are in disorder. At that time, even one who throughout his life has practiced chanting the holy name of the Lord may not be able to chant the Hare Krishna mantra very distinctly. Nevertheless, such a person receives all the benefits of chanting the holy name. While the body is fit, therefore, why should we not chant the holy name of the Lord loudly and distinctly? If one does so, it is quite possible that even at the time of death, he will be properly able to chant the holy name of the Lord with love and faith. In conclusion, one who chants the holy name of the Lord constantly is guaranteed to return home back to Godhead without a doubt. Yeah, okay.
You understand?
So there is no concept, or no like a rule that you have to, do your Krishna consciousness practice from the childhood as such. I mean, if one is able to do it, that's work good.
Maharaj says you should start this as early as possible at the age of 5. Kauma Acharat Pragyo. You know?
Okay, makes sense, yeah.
You want to read this?
The highest perfection of life is attained by remembering the transcendental nature of the Lord at the last moment of one's life. This perfection of life is possible for one who has learned the actual transcendental nature of the Lord from the Vedic hymns sung by a liberated soul like Sukhdev Goswami or someone in that line of disciplic succession. There is no gain in hearing self-realized soul and is properly understood by service and submission. Everything becomes transparently clear. Thus, a submissive disciple is able to live transcendentally and continue to the end of life. By scientific adaptation, one is able to remember the Lord even at the end of life, when the power of remembrance is slackened due to the derangement of bodily membranes. For a common man, it is very difficult to remember things as they are at the time of death. But by the grace of the Lord and his bona fide devotees, the spiritual masters, one can get this opportunity without difficulty. And it was done in the case of Maharaj Parikshit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you practice, then it is possible. If you practice, suddenly for you to remember, it is not, you understand?
Right, Prabhuji.
For common man, it is very difficult to remember things as they are at the time of death.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, here I have a one question. Like, what about if somebody didn't do Krishna consciousness at the last moment? That person didn't do Krishna consciousness, but the somebody, his or her relative beside her, and asked to chant the holy name, and that person chanted the holy name 3-4 times before she left her body. So in that case, is that person goes back to Godhead?
If he chanted, yes, he will go back.
Great.
It says, Ante Narayana Smriti. Janmalabha Parapumsham Ante Narayana Smriti.
Wow.
Remember Krishna at the time of death, then yes, you go back.
Okay. So being the associating devoting with that.
The person
I mean, devotee is also great thing also.
became successful because of the association of devotees. Somebody
Mhm.
knowing how to leave the body. That's good. Yes?
Mhm.
If nobody is there, how you will remember? You will be thinking of the pain and so many things, no? Because at
Mhm.
that, it is explained here, at the time of that, the memory gets rearranged, no? Hmm?
Mhm. Yes, Prabhuji.
And highly disappointed. Highly.
No, what is wrong? You are
You see this? This is what happens at death, no?
O elevated demigods, at the time of death, severe, unbearable pain takes away the consciousness of all living entities who have accepted material bodies. Don't you know about this pain?
Hmm?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you can see how at the time of death is not such an easy thing, no? Oh, you told me now I will chant, you know, at the time of death only I will chant. You think Krishna is such a fool, huh? That you enjoy yourself with all nonsense and suddenly you want to go back to Godhead, huh?
You're right, Prabhuji. Right.
Yeah?
But
Also, don't forget one thing. Remembrance, forgetfulness is all given by who?
Krishna.
Right? Yes or not?
Yeah.
Unless Krishna gives you the power, then how you will remember? Hmm? Yes?
Right. Yes, Prabhuji.
Understand? You can't cheat Krishna. No. You think that, okay, I will do all my nonsense. At the time of that, yeah, I'll remember Krishna.
Mhm.
Understand? One man, he thought like that, okay, I will put the 3 sons and he put each one the name of Krishna. At least at the time of that, I will call any one of my
School
sons.
is so boring and hard.
No? So at the
Not
time
hard,
of
but
that,
it's boring.
you want to mute yourself. So at the time of that, he called all his 3 sons. And then while they were around him, then he asked, so who is in the shop? All 3 of you here, who is in the shop? He died remembering his shop. You understand? So it's not, Ajamil's case is different because he practiced spiritual life at the younger age. You understand?
Yeah.
Held down. So because he did practice at the earlier part of his life, Krishna made arrangement for him to remember him at the time of death. That's why he had to name his son as Narayan to follow.
Right, Prabhuji. Right.
So it's not some kind of a cheap thing that is so cheap. Why we have taken so many lifetimes to get it perfected?
Yeah.
You understand? It requires special mercy of Guru and Krishna. Actually, we are going to go back to Godhead only by the mercy of Prabhupada. Because he has said, my devotee, whoever surrenders to me, I'll take them back to Godhead. Prabhupada said that. And because Prabhupada said that, then Krishna is obligated to, accept that.
That's right.
In your own strength, you're going to go back. Maybe you can. I have my reservation on myself. Don't say so much, Let's first talk about you trying to follow something, Can you do that? Huh?
Yeah.
Don't talk about chanting in the end of your life. Can you do anything now?
Yeah, it's better to do it now. Yeah. Why wait,
Or
at the
even now you're having so much difficulty even trying to do it. You think it's going to be so easy for you at the time when your body is completely decapacitated? Huh?
Yeah, you're right, Prabhuji. Totally agreed. Yeah.
You're talking nonsense, These are the Indians, Indians always ask this kind of crazy questions,
I mean, the whole life they want to enjoy. And, after hearing this phrase, right,
We
They
ask
just
you to
think
come
that,
for praise. When we ask you to come for praise, you say no time. And what are you going to do? No, I'm going to go cricket match, Prabhu. I have to go for that.
yeah.
Huh? And he wants to go back to garden. Hopefully, he doesn't take birth in the grass in a cricket field.
And also, if they by chance give good names of Krishna, like different Krishna's name or Vishnu's name, they call them by some pet name, saying Gunda, Ginda, something, and they spoil the name. And I feel so funny. Even though they have kept the names of Lord Vishnu, they can't tell that name so easily.
Yeah, you will have so many tubes in your mouth and so many things. I also recently I had a heart attack. Yeah, I went for the surgery. I think I will chant. Come on, they dosed me out. I don't know what was happening.
What Mataji is telling us, even when they are fit and hale and healthy, though they have kept names of Krishna or Vishnu, they don't have the mercy to call them by their actual name and call pet
Yeah,
names.
they give some kind of pet name, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even to chant Krishna's name, there's a verse here. Unless you have practiced this in so many lifetimes, you see, there's a verse here. You see in this verse. O descendant of Bharata, the holy name of Lord Vishnu always vibrating in the mouth of one who has previously worshipped Vasudeva perfectly for hundreds of lifetimes. Huh? You think you can chant simply you chant? Huh? Hello?
Right, Prabhuji, yes.
This is quoted by
Jiva Goswami.
this statement, this what?
Jiva Goswami.
Goswami?
Yeah, Jiva Goswami has quoted the following verse.
Yena janma satahe purvam vasudeve samarchitaha tan murkhe hari namani sada tistanti bharata. You think it's so easy for you to just chant?
Right.
Hello?
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah. If we haven't practiced as from this verse, if we haven't practiced in our previous lives, then it's very difficult to chant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there is a relation. Now I can this verse I can understand. Yeah.
Yes.
So it means if we are doing Krishna consciousness in this lifetime, it means we have done some Krishna consciousness in our previous lifetimes then.
Yeah, otherwise how you can chant?
Yeah.
Krishna also said that in the Bhagavad Gita. After many, many births of executing pious activity, when one is completely free from all contamination and from all illusory duality, engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. After many, many births,
Right.
You mean to say you just became to know Hare Krishna only this life? Huh?
Right. Yeah.
Many births we have taken. That's why even Krishna tells Arjuna, we have taken so many births. I remember them, you don't. Yes?
Yes.
If Arjuna has taken so many births, what about us? No, Prabhu, I am such a pure devotee. I just came down to deliver everything. Huh? Hello? Do you know how many births we have taken? Do you know how many lives, what is the life of Brahma? Brahma is 51 years old now. That means lifespan of 311 trillion years. half of it is finished. That means 150 over trillion years is finished. So what are we doing? What were we doing?
Right. Right.
150 trillion years of taking birth and dying and taking birth and dying. Only Krishna knows.
Not even billions of times we've been getting
Oh.
rebirth.
Actually, there's a verse in the third canto. It says that when we were in the womb of our mother, the Lord, for those who are pious, He revealed 100 lives. Oh,
Yeah.
in the womb. And when we see that, we are crying terribly, terribly crying. No, I don't want to make this mistake again when I come out. And when he comes out, I want to study IIT and I want to become this and I want to become that. But what about your promise to chant? Oh, I don't remember. You understand?
Mm.
Got all the objectives wrong, The goal of life is to become a devotee of Krishna and make our life successful and go back. Not to have this paper chase and try to secure some crazy kind of a job, thinking that will give you a lot of financial gain. In this way, enjoy the senses and think that this is life. Yes?
Right.
Especially if you made it to America, then you become a demigod, Or Singapore. Wow, see, made to Singapore, that's it. Any Indians who can come out of India, they think they are, wow, thank God, I'm one of the demigods who escaped. Understand? So this is the problem. They have misdirected themselves. Because this material sense gratification can be very, very alluring,
Right.
Very dangerous. The Indians, many of them, when they come out, then they break all the principles. Yes?
Yes.
They never eat beef and all that when they come out, or McDonald's, hamburgers. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So this is forward going or is backward?
Definitely backward, Prabhu.
Backward, Prabhu. Definitely. Yeah.
So you see how dangerous it is.
Right.
That's why they cannot chant. How they can chant? If you do all this kind of thing, how the holy name will manifest in your mouth?
That's 100% true, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Therefore, he comes to your classes and here, oh, you remember Krishna, okay, Prabhu, I will try, at the time of death, I will remember. Huh?
No, that's not possible, right, Prabhuji? Yeah.
You understand? Krishna consciousness, although easy, but it's not cheap,
Yeah.
You understand? So, for
And
anyone who wants to think that he can take it cheaply, Krishna got another thing up for them.
so, Prabhuji, I have a related question to that. I'm just going back to the ISKCON gurus and, to some Ritvik system. And last week, maybe, some of you or, I heard about one of the guru, ISKCON guru, His Holiness Kadam Kanan Swami Maharaj. He left this material world. And I wanted to know his, he was not the direct disciple of Srila Prabhupada. I think he was disciple of, I forgot the name. Jayadvaita Swami, right. So my question is related to Samadhi, right? So is this appropriate to have Samadhi for such souls? I mean, even though they have practiced Krishna consciousness for their entire life, and they are, they are sannyasis. I mean,
in ISKCON, everything is possible, What is impossible in ISKCON? They gave samadhi for Kirtananda, who was a homosexual, fell down. Huh? They buried him in Vrindavan.
So what's
In
the
Vrindavan?
destiny of these souls? I mean, who I have, I've gone through all the, the entire series of Ritvik system from Tattva with Prabhu. And so you're right, on the material platform, they can be, they can have the samadhis, right, in the Vrindavan, but what's their destiny? I mean, even we have seen that they have practiced Krishna consciousness for their life. So is there any scriptural evidence, and what will be the destiny of them and their disciples?
You want to read this?
Here is the opinion of Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj
Translation,
Goswami.
Prabhu.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. The order of spiritual master is the active principle in spiritual life. Anyone who disobeys the order of the spiritual master immediately becomes useless. Yes, I have heard this from Tattvavid Prabhu. Yes, right. I can read purport. Here is the opinion of Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. Persons who strictly follow the orders of the spiritual master are useful in executing the will of the Supreme, whereas persons who deviate from the strict order of the spiritual masters are useless. So, Prabhuji, even their disciples are useless. I mean, what will be their destiny, even though they are following 4 regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds, and doing everything, which was suggested by Srila Prabhupada? Okay, leaders who have fallen into ignorance and who mislead people by directing them to the path of destruction, as described in the previous words, are in fact boarding a stone boat. And so too are those who blindly follow them. A stone boat would be unable to float and would sink in the water with its passengers. Similarly, those who mislead people, go to hell and their followers go with them. And we heard from Srila Prabhupada in one of their letters or in one of their lectures that most of his disciple at that time, when Srila Prabhupada was physically manifested, that they will go to the heavenly planets and come back to earth.
Yeah, those who did not follow very strictly, then they are given that facility to enjoy and then come back and continue. But those who strictly follow, they got their benefit also. Yes or not?
Yes, right, Prabhuji.
But the main thing, the underlying factor is to follow the order of the spiritual master very strictly. You understand? Then the question was asked, how we know we are pleasing you, Srila Prabhupada?
Right.
So Prabhupada said, if you can chant 16 rounds and follow 4 principles, then you can take it that you are pleasing spiritual master. Understand?
Yeah.
And many people do not follow these 4 principles and chant 16 rounds if they have offended Prabhupada. You can see so many fall downs.
Yeah.
Understand? Because even if you say you're not fallen, you're chanting, but because you are disobeyed, your condition is already useless. So how you can become useful by being useless? Does it make any sense?
Okay.
You understand?
Right, Prabhuji. Right. But Prabhuji, when we see the lives of...
If I follow somebody is useless, then I become useful. Is it possible?
No, it's not possible. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Then why Prabhupada left Gaudiya Math? Prabhupada said, my godfathers are all useless. Correct?
Right.
And if you go and take shelter of Gaudiya Math, then what will be your position? Huh?
Yeah.
Correct? Same
Correct.
thing with ISKCON. Correct?
Yep.
You understand? So this person, while he was dying, he was saying, I just give you some understanding. So you know. So here you see, someone sent me this message. He said, Kadamba Kanana Swami in this last video message of his makes quite a bold claim. He says he will be eagerly be waiting to personally reunite with all the devotees of ISKCON in the spiritual world in a different realm. So he is quite confident he is going straight back there. You know?
Yeah. So is that true, Prabhuji? Like, I heard one
So
statement.
let me finish.
Oh, sure.
So you see here, this is the mood of Madhavendra Puri. Yeah? Madhavendra Puri is our Acharya, no?
Right.
Understand? So here, Madhavendra Puri is saying, His divine grace, Madhavendra Puri, the spiritual master of the entire world, thus distributed ecstatic love for Krishna. While passing away from the material world, he chanted the following verse. O my Lord, O most merciful Master, O Master of Mathura, when shall I see you again? Because of my not seeing you, my agitated heart has become unsteady. I am most beloved, O most beloved, what shall I do now? So he is feeling in the mood of separation. You understand?
Yeah.
He doesn't know that he is going to meet the Lord. You follow?
Right.
This was Madhavendra Puri teaches how to achieve ecstatic love for Krishna by feeling separation from Krishna. One becomes spiritually situated. Not that you are dancing with Krishna. No, I'm going to dance with Krishna. You understand?
Yeah.
So it is a question mark. This person is saying something, and you see how the acharyas are teaching us something else. In fact, there's another verse. In this verse, persons who are falsely under the impression of being liberated without devotional service to the Lord may reach the goal of Brahmajyoti, but because of their impure conscience and for want of shelter in the Vaikuntha lokas, such so-called liberated person again fall down in the material existence. So somebody who thinks that he is liberated, of course, firstly, they are doing devotional service already in an offensive manner, You understand? You see the word here? Anyone think that is liberated, it is called avishuddha buddhi, contaminated consciousness.
Okay.
Contaminated consciousness, you always think like the Christian, the Muslim, everybody, no, we are all going back, we're going back already. Huh?
Yes.
Understand? This is contaminated consciousness. A devotee never thinks in this way. Even when Prabhupada was leaving, they would say, Prabhupada, you please pray to Krishna and Krishna can save you. And Prabhupada say, if Krishna so desire, let him do. He never say, I'm such a pure devotee, I'm saved already. He never say like that.
Yeah.
You understand? And another Swami who passed away, ISKCON Swami, he said, no, I'm waiting in the train station just for the train to go back. I'm already waiting. Can you imagine this statement? These are all not in line in Shastric context. So if a person is speaking something not in line, then we are doubtful. Understand?
Right, Prabhuji, right.
Not just because you're ISKCON Swami, you're definitely going back to Godhead, Hello. Is it said that all ISKCONs are definitely going back to Godhead? Huh? Especially if you disobey Prabhupada, more going back to Godhead? Huh? Some of this Kadamba, he became Guru. His Guru is there and you become Guru. Hello?
Yeah. Right, Prabhuji. Yeah, I was.
And he's going back straight to Godhead. Huh? Hello, Prabhu.
Yeah, right, Prabhuji. Right.
Just some foolish people practicing Krishna consciousness just because sentimentally you say something, oh, he died, no, he died in Vrindavan. I'm sure, no, he's going back. I don't know, Prabhu. I don't know. I'm going back. I don't know. You know, understand?
Right.
Can you definitely say you're going back to Godhead? Can you say that?
No, not, no.
That is not very valid,
Yeah.
That's why I say if Krishna so desires, then let it be so. You understand? The mood of a Vaishnava is to be very humble, that I am fallen, Prabhu. I don't think I can even make it even to the hellish planet. What to speak about spiritual world.
Right, right, Prabhuji. Yes.
You understand? And he will say, you please pray for me, help me. This is how a devotee is praying. Not that I'm going back, I'll be there, you all coming later, I'll see you there. Huh? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? These verses in the Acharya's list, Prabhu.
But yeah, you're right, Prabhuji. In couple of instances, I heard from Radhanath Swami Maharaj where their disciples was, leaving the material body. And he said, like in the Zoom call, okay, you are going to Krishna Loka, you are going to Golok Vrindavan, I mean, this and that. Even.
What is the use of a murderer giving you that kind of burden? Someone who has murdered someone, and he's telling, no, you going back. So you go to your Tihar jail. I mean, you're in America, I don't know. You have a jail, I'm sure. There are many people in death row, right?
We do.
You go and ask them blessing. Prabhu, you give me blessing that I'm going back to Krishna. Will it work?
No, it won't. Yeah.
You understand? I show you another verse, huh? This is from the Vedas, huh? The Vedic authorities are praying like this, huh? Members of the renounced order who fail to uproot the last traces of material desire in their hearts remain impure, and thus you do not allow them to understand you. Although you are present within their hearts, for them you are just like a jewel worn around the neck of a man who has totally forgotten it is there. O Lord, those who practice yoga only for sense gratification must suffer punishment both in this life and the next, from death, who will not release them, and from you, whose kingdom they cannot reach.
Right.
So all these guys have disobeyed Prabhupada.
Yes.
Result, they are contaminated. This Radhanath is always speaking about the highest thing he's speaking about is becoming a yogi. He's always talking about this yogi stuff. He's not talking about Krishna.
That's right, Prabhuji. That's right, yeah.
I mean, he's contaminated because he's fallen down. Prabhu, he says clearly they cannot go back.
Yeah,
they cannot, nothing, no spiritual knowledge, nothing they get. Prabhu, spiritual life is not based on sentiment,
Right, Prabhuji. Agreed, yeah.
Spiritual life is based on, complete conviction by, there's a verse on that, yeah. Tatshritadana Munuyo. I check this verse out for you.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I took your time in this question.
No, not time. I mean, others are also, interested in learning this.
Yes, Prabhu, it's very helpful for me. It's good. It's a very right question.
Tatshritadana Munuyo Jnana Vairagya Yutte Vashanti Chatmanam Bhaktya Sruta Grahitaya. This is spiritual life. The seriously inquisitive student of sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realize the absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti. You understand this point?
Right.
It's not based on some sentiment, Prabhu.
Right.
Does he say anything about sentiment in this line? And I tell you something, they don't know the scriptures. They don't know it at all. Now you ask me a question, you know how many verses I'm showing you.
Yes, yes. Everything from the scriptural references you are giving.
Everything I say, I'm backing up with scriptures.
Yeah. Everything is backed by the scriptures. Yes.
Yes, but
Thank
it's not in their case, it is not.
Yeah.
Understand? They say the guru can fall down. Where is it backed up in Shastra? They show example of Brahma fell down and you know what, Shiva fell down and everybody fell down. So therefore they can fall down. Legitimate, huh?
Right.
Just now we showed verses how great personalities, even something happens, they, it is not, their contradictory behavior, they are not contaminated. Great personalities. Huh? Are you in the great personality list?
Right.
Hello? You've got 4 heads and 4 tails or something? Huh? Yesterday you were eating hamburgers, huh? You don't even know after going to the toilet you have to shower, no? Hello?
Yeah. Right, Prabhuji. Yeah.
You're saying what? You're a great personality on the level of Brahma, Shiva, and all not. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, Prabhuji.
Try to understand, you know. This is how they fool everybody.
Right.
You are lucky you have learned and you have decided to come here.
Yes, Prabhuji. I'm fortunate. Yes.
If you're not, you will be like them there, you know,
Yeah, I will
clapping,
be like them. Yes.
thinking that you're already in God. No, this guy is thinking I will meet you there, but you here you will think I'm already here, Prabhu. I'm with Krishna. I'm dancing every night with him. Prabhu, this is called contaminated consciousness. Vishuddha buddhi. You understand? That's why we have to know scriptures. To analyze something, we need scriptural evidences. That's now we read, see?
Yeah.
Rendering
Right.
medicinal service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti. Yes, Sruta Grihitaya. Grihitaya means he's thoroughly has grasped it, you know. Understand?
Yeah.
Not some speculation. Thoroughly equipped, it says here. Well equipped with knowledge and detachment. I would recommend you to read the purport. It's very important purport, this one.
Sure. Yeah.
Is it understood?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot. For such a great explanation from scriptures. Yes.
That is our job, no? To help everybody understand Shastra.
Right.
I just cannot do this if you are not knowing Shastra, no? Yes?
Yes.
So we are bogus and they are most authoritative. Right? Why? Because I'm not ISKCON. Because I'm not ISKCON, we are going to the darkest region of hell. I say to them, yeah, let me go to hell, you know. You go back to Godhead, so thank you very much. Huh? What else to say? Yes?
Yes. Yeah.
So don't be fooled, you know. Anything you hear, you ask for evidence.
Agreed.
Evidence means that they be able to show you. As Prabhupada said, everything is there in my books. So you should be able to show that.
Right.
Any other questions?